Hello, friends. Chris Corsi here, president of Thrive Today, and I want to welcome you to the Relational Skills in Real Life podcast. Friends, I'm glad you're here. Today's topic is on messing up well. That's right. We're going to share a messing up well story. And you know what? The reality is we all mess up, don't we? We all have moments where we slip out of relational mode into enemy mode or we react. We say or do things we wish we could take back. And the reality is, parents, we all mess up with our kids, and messing up provides opportunities to repair ruptures and to return to joy in the midst of hard times. How do we get back to glad to be togetherness, even while we navigate difficulties? And as a parent, there's a whole lot of opportunities for me to mess up well. And you know what? There's a lot of learning opportunities from the times that I don't mess up well. God never wastes our opportunities and he doesn't waste our pain. The reality is, as we learn to stay relational, we learn to be the relational people God created us to be, where we bounce back to joy and peace from strong emotions. This is real life training. And how well we repair really sets the tone for how well we return to joy. So messing up well is actually a good thing because we all mess up and we all have times where we react and we lose our joy and our peace. And the beauty of return to joy skills means that we don't have to avoid difficulties or pain. We learn to recover from these difficulties. We learn to stay ourselves, our relational selves, the people that God created us to be. So we learn to bounce back from emotions and difficult circumstances, where we learn that joy and peace is around the corner from our distress, our frustrations, our hurts, our annoyances. We learn that the good stuff is around the corner when things get hard. Friends, this is good news. At Thrive Today, we are very purposeful about creating resources to help people grow their capacity to be their relational selves, what we call the foundational 5 skills. So we learn how to activate our brain's relational circuits, how to grow glad to be together joy. We learn to rest and take a breather anytime we need it. We learn to see some of what God sees. And these skills provide a foundation for the harder, more complex skills like returning to joy. So we're learning to feel our feelings, share our feelings, and quiet our feelings, what I call the feel, share, quiet sequence, or FSQ for short. So what we're teaching our brain with return to joy skills is we will not die but live when painful emotions arise because we have the confidence and the security that joy and peace is around the corner. So, one of the important skills that really help us learn to return to joy is the skill that we've talked about in previous episodes on appreciation, what we call skill 4. Skill 4, create appreciation, helps us get relational from the times that we're struggling to stay relational. And appreciation actually gives us some awareness of what's going on in us as well as other people so that we can get our relational circuits back online. And appreciation gives us the strength to suffer well in the hard times as we navigate relational turbulence. And I'm very pleased to introduce my friends Jeremy and Angelina Berlin. They are friends of mine for years. I'm just so proud of them for how they've been practicing relational skills in their lives and their families and with those that they serve. They give us an example today where things don't go according to plan with their daughter. And Jeremy and Angelina have worked hard on their relational skills. They're graduates of Thrive. They just use these skills far and wide. Let's hear from them on an example of returning to joy.
So, a story that comes to mind is just last week. Mama was getting off to work early, and it was my job to get our little daughter on her up and going and on her way, brushed and all this stuff. And we were running behind. And I was really wanting to have this like nice, restful rhythm of the morning, but it wasn't going to plan. And so I started getting tense. And I was like noticing like tension in my jaw, tension in my forehead, and constriction in my chest. And I was like starting to feel frustrated and a little angry. So it was more like disappointed and angry. Like I wanted to have this great morning with with her, but it wasn't happening. And so I'm like trying to like get her out the door and get all the things, but I've got this like frustration, this anger about me. And it was not producing good things in my daughter. And I was like needing to get her nourished before dropping her off. And so I was like trying to get her to eat on the way. But I was like frustrated, and that was felt in the environment of the car. And I like asked, "Hey, what's going on? Why don't you want to eat?" And she's like, "Oh, not hungry." I'm like thinking, if I was her right now, my body would be very tense because her attachment figure is tensely like kind of angry. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta like stop, remember what's it like myself to do in a situation like this. Okay, it's like me to turn our relational circuits back on and recover, return to joy. So I was like, okay, what skill can I use to do this? Appreciation. All right. So, and so I started asking, hey, let's think of things of joy memories from when we were traveling Europe and maybe when we were at Disneyland. And so we started recounting different memories, and she shared a memory, and I'd shared a memory, and could feel like peace return to our bodies and joy return to our faces and fill the car. I was like, okay, this feels good. And then I was like, here, now, would you like some food? She's like, yep. And so then she ate her meal, and we were on our way, and actually had to get to have a beautiful ending of the morning.
Well, friends, wasn't that a beautiful example where the Berlins give this real life example of returning to joy? I really appreciated Jeremy's body awareness. He noticed pressure in his body. He noticed that he was feeling some anger and disappointment in the morning. Things were not going according to plan. And I know as a parent, that can be very difficult to navigate. But Jeremy noticed this lack of peace. He felt frustrated. He felt this inner turmoil in his mind. And you know what? This would have been a really easy situation to just try to manage circumstances and mold behavior because he was frustrated, right? Things were not going well, but he did something different. Jeremy notices the lack of peace bubbling up in his mind and in his body. He's seeing the signs that his peace is rapidly disappearing, and he uses curiosity with his daughter. So Jeremy got relational, so he could be curious in with what's happening in his daughter's mind, and he could even put himself in her shoes. These are important skills. These are hard to do. So curiosity and just that awareness of what it must be like to be in his daughter's shoes right now. These were really good indicators his relational circuits were up and running. Because when we slip into enemy mode, we're not aware of another person's mind. We don't relate to what's happening in other people. And we just end up getting stuck on outcomes and results. So I love how Jeremy's heart was expressed through this interaction, and he had a keen awareness for what's happening in him as well as those around him. So this pause was important for him to think about who he is and how to express the life that's within him so that it could show up in his interaction with his daughter. And this interaction helped his daughter access some joy, right? They shared memories together as they practiced appreciation. And Jeremy noticed an immediate effect as this peace and this joy was restored. And I just love the example of how Jeremy was helping his daughter learn to return to joy so that then she could enjoy her meal. So she was anchored in joy and peace. Her father's example showed her, I will not die, but live. This is who we are and what we do when we lose our peace. And this little interaction changed the course of her morning and her day. So this is very powerful training that's happening here through this interaction. Jeremy's example gives us all hope that we too can follow his example and learn to recover from those moments strong emotions surge. Strong emotions arise in us as well as in the people that we care about. So as you practice quieting and taking a breather, as you practice appreciation, remembering the good stuff, you notice your body and you notice the effects of joy and peace. How does it affect your mind and your body? What this is doing is it's laying down tracks in your relational right hemisphere so that you get really good at returning to joy and peace anytime you lose your joy and your peace. Every single interaction you will ever have is an opportunity to grow the good stuff, right? Build some joy, as well as learn how to get back to joy and peace from strong emotions. And at Thrive Today, we're very purposeful about creating practices so that you can learn these skills so that they become part of the fabric of your character and your life and your relationships. So you can learn more about using appreciation with our children with the Thriving Mamas blog. You can learn about that at thrivetoday.org and visit our Skill 4 page on the 19 skills where you can learn more about appreciation and learn more about resources that can help you better instill these relational reflexes into your mind, into your relationships, and it's part of how you think and how you do life. So, friends, may this be the start of something good for you today.